we have the situation with the stop and frisk policy here in New York City, the Zimmerman trial, and now your film. So there's quite a conversation going on about law enforcement and race. How do you feel contributing to that conversation? What are you hoping to contribute?
Well, for me, I wanted to tell this story, and I think this story is one that involves that subject matter. It's something that, it's something that is a part of a lot of problems that young African American males face in urban environments. Both our relationships with each other and our relationships with law enforcement. And I think that what I hope to contribute with this film was just a little more added perspective. You know what I mean, on what it's like for somebody, who is young and black and living in an environment, like these environments that we're talking about right now, and what the impact has, what the impact of them losing their lives unnecessarily has on their people that they have close relationships with.
Yeah, I think you totally achieved that.
Oh, thank you.
It's such a huge decision, the subject of your first feature film. What drew you to wanting to tell Oscar Grant's story?
Oh, for me, it was that it touched me personally. I was in the Bay Area at the time when it happened, and I'm from there, born and raised there. I was affected, just as everybody was in the Bay, and maybe even more so because there's a lot of parallels between Oscar and myself. Same age, black myself, and have been in similar situations. Have friends that looked and dressed like his friends. So watching the tape, it was hard for me to see that and not see myself, in that situation. I think about my family.
Did you know at that point that you wanted to tell that story, and you
cataloged
it away?
Yeah, I knew pretty close to around that time. But it's one of those things where I think any artist, they take inspiration from things that affect them. Oftentimes musicians will write songs about things that emotionally impacted them. And for me, it's no different. I see things or experience things, I think about them in terms of a film. And when I saw the fallout that happened, when I saw that the human issue involved kind of got muddled over, and it became a political thing, and it became people picking sides, and it became Oscar was this or he was that. You know what I mean? For whatever message somebody was trying to get across. Oftentimes people didn't know him at all. They were saying that he was X, Y, and Z, and that's why this happened. Or on either side, I really was hurt about that. And I figured I could make a project that could bring it back to the personal aspects of who he was. Tell a story through the lens of relationships that matter most to him.
Was there any point during the filmmaking that you thought, well, maybe this wasn't a good first film choice?
For me, it was a type of film that I want to make. I think that everybody should make the kind of movies that they want to make.
That's great.
And you should take every project as if it's your last.
Well, you have a great background in that you've worked with incarcerated youth as a counselor, as your father has, right? And I read that your uncle was a Black Panther, right? Or is that incorrect?
My family's from Oakland, and the Panthers were founded there, in North Oakland, where my family's from.
Well, I think it's wonderful you have such a socially conscious family. So what made you want to be a filmmaker? How do you feel you can use that profession to help, do with what your family has been doing for a while, which is helping the community?
I never thought about it like that. I never thought about my family as, I guess if you put it like that, you could. I just.
That makes your family even more awesome. You're not even aware of it. You're just helping.
My family's awesome for other reasons, man. Because we just a family. It's normal, you know what I mean? But I think that what made me want to become a filmmaker is I thoroughly enjoy it. I really do. Like I fell in love with it just as much as I fell in love with football when I first started playing that as a kid. I really like the camaraderie that comes with it. I think it's incredibly rewarding work. When you making stuff that's important to you. And this is my first feature, but it's not my first time making a movie.
Yeah, you've made some very successful shorts. Have won like the HBO and different festival awards.
Yeah, but each time, what I like about it is you learn something new every day. You know what I mean? You learn from your mistakes, and try to continue to grow and and it gives you opportunity to investigate things that might affect you emotionally, which is what I like to do. I don't like to start from a place of being affected by something and then moving forward. So I think I feel like it's I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to be a filmmaker.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have to say I have a lot of viewers who want to be filmmakers.
Oh,
and they
awesome.
always ask, you went to USC Film School,
I did.
and one of the things they always ask is it important to go to film school? So what do you think?
Well, I mean, you look at each person's career, and they're all like fingerprints. You know what I mean? Like no two peoples are alike. You know, I don't think there's a broad stroke way for anybody to achieve any goal.
Yeah.
You know, I think because I mean, becoming a filmmaker isn't like, you know, becoming a lawyer, we have to pass a bar exam, or like being a doctor, you have to go to med school and get certified and stuff. You know, it's not like that. Yeah, like so it's really so many different routes to get there.
Did film school help you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was perfect for me. Yeah, USC helped me tremendously, and I'm the kind of person, you know, I went straight through school. You know, from kindergarten to the day I had my last day at USC. I never stopped going to class.
Were you an undergrad or graduate for USC?
I was graduate for USC.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So school. I was always a person who did well in school environments. You know, and it made sense for me because I always got a lot out of school. So it made sense for me to take that route in terms of filmmaking. But I know a lot of people who are very different. I know people who learn in a different way. You know, who went out and got jumped straight into it. You know, I know people that started in film school and then dropped out and still got to achieve their goals, you know. So I think that what people have to do is figure out if film school is right for them, you know, personally, you know.
Well, speaking of school, you're kind of in Harvey Weinstein's class now, right? You know, he got your film out of Sundance, he won the bidding war for it, and now you're kind of like in the Weinstein machine, and he's really good at taking these independent films and getting them on this national stage or global stage. What are you learning from this process, and how do you like working with the Weinstein Company?
I mean, I love working with the Weinstein Company. I'm learning every day, you know, in this process. This is all very, very new to me, and this isn't something that school necessarily prepare you for, you know.
There's no PR class.
No, and I think that that's one of the more exciting things. One thing I love about this company is that they're very passionate, you know, and it's a collaborative process with them. You know, they're kind of artists in themselves in terms of engaging with the end goal. And the end goal for me with this film was, you know, it was never about financial gain, or, you know, it was never about a career gain. You know what I mean? For me, it was about telling the story and then sharing it with as many people as possible. And they're in many ways the distributor is the gatekeeper between the filmmaker and the people that they wanted to see the film. So I'm incredibly inspired, and I've been enjoying this process. You know, dealing with the Weinstein Company and watching how they work and engaging with, you know, other artists like yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I'm having fun too.
Yeah, no, and so it's been incredible, and I feel really fortunate because I know every film doesn't get this opportunity. You know, a lot of great films. You know.
Well, I think yours deserves it. I was really impressed with it, and I gave a review. I thought it was excellent. But the last question I want to ask you is that recently they had some Iraqi filmmakers come over here on a study abroad program, and they saw some American films like World War Z, and some of them felt it was propaganda.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
And so I think sometimes people feel like we had a really great discussion with Michael B. Jordan, your star, about how sometimes African American characters are portrayed an unfair way in film. So when you think about the people that you mentor, you know, when you were helping with incarcerated youth, what do you hope this film symbolizes to them?
I mean, I hope that it symbolizes to them somebody telling a story about a complete human being. You know what I mean? And for a lot of them, they are like Oscar. You know, they look like Oscar. You know what I mean? They come up in similar situations as Oscar, and I think I hope that they can look at it and see some truth in what they're looking at in terms of the media. Oftentimes, how African Americans are represented in the media is a direct result of the fact that there isn't a lot of African Americans behind the camera in those positions that are representing them. You know, and oftentimes how they're represented is you know, for many people in America and in the world, they don't come in close personal contact with black people. You know, they don't live next to them. They don't see them. You know what I mean, in personal ways. Never been in their homes or anything of that nature. So the only contact they have with this type of people is through the media. You know, so if that's your contact with, you know, what do you see? You know what I mean? You see newspaper headlines. You know, you see news clips. You see maybe a reality TV show or a music video,
which are all skewed for ratings.
Yeah,
right?
so that's your reality for these people, and I think that's why it's important that you have a lot of different representation behind the camera. You know what I mean? A lot of different representation in the writing room to be able to give perspective that can show 360-degree characters. You know, unfortunately, you get a lot of 360-degree, white characters, because there's so many white people behind the camera. You know, you're putting this stuff out. You can't say the same for other ethnicities often, though.
And genders, it's
genders.
interesting. Yeah. No, I think that's one of the greatest things about your film. I think it's really true.